Top of the morning to you, Convoy crazies. Johnny here, coming at you from Fallon, Nevada. And we're going to be here 3 nights, 2 days. So today all day, tonight, tomorrow all day, tomorrow night. Tomorrow's 9/11. So we have a memorial service. We're all going to go downtown Fallon and stage our vehicles up and participate in the memorial services. And I believe that's why we're here an extra day, if I were to make a guess. So we have a camp fender bender set up. Got the old flag out. It's probably backwards in the video, but it looks correct in the view in the screen. Yeah, not much else to report. Oh, except that we're in the vicinity of a naval air station, and they have been flying F-18s. Did you guys see that yesterday? That 18 coming around the convoy at 9 o'clock? That was pretty cool. I don't know if I caught it on video very well, but that was so cool. But you can hear them doing exercises all night, way after midnight. That sounds like freedom. Sounds like freedom to me. Freedom. So a fella told me, a little birdie told me this is a Top Gun school here. So that's why they were flying at night and doing all kinds of. We passed some bomb targets earlier yesterday out there. That great big salt flat lake thing. Yeah, it was pretty cool. They must have 40 or 50 pieces of armor sitting there that they use as targets. Neat stuff. Yeah, Fallon. How about that? How about that welcome? Boy, we haven't had a welcome like that since the East Coast. Yeah. You know, out in the West here, it seems like every town we came into, oh, we had no idea you was coming. Who are you? What are you doing here? Well, we're invading Area 51. What do you think we're doing? So, it was a nice change. So I'd like to thank the Fallon Police Department for giving us cover coming into the city. And thank the people of Fallon for such a warm reception. People are, coming out to the campground here, checking the vehicles out. I got to run into town and do a couple things, so. My chair broke. Probably from all this eating. So I got to get a new chair. I can hear Brad's dog tag machine off into the distance. Can you hear that? That's what we call the doghouse. Well, he calls it the doghouse. It is known as the doghouse, the dog tag machine trailer, which is neat. What a neat setup. We'll go check that out later. For those of you who haven't seen his setup, heck with it. Let's go check it out now. I don't even care about it since he's working, or maybe his lovely wife Nancy is stamping out some dog tags for some people. Just I can't believe how clever some of the people are here on the convoy. They just come up with this amazing stuff. And it is just so neat to check all this stuff out. It seems like every day you learn something new, or a new way of doing something. So, yeah, let's go look at this machine. So, folks, here we are at the doghouse, and this is my friend Brad. He runs this here operation. And, Brad, can you tell us a little bit about the doghouse?
I could tell you, yes, it was a communication shelter. And I said, I'm going to make some dog tags. So I modified the trailer a little bit, actually got carried away, and I make dog tags.
And can we dispel the myth about the notch in the dog tags? Everyone seems to think it's to knock through your teeth or something like that.
That is not correct. The Addressograph Model 70 was a device issued to the medics, and they put a dog tag in here and would make imprints of the information on a dog tag. Without the notch, it wouldn't go in far enough, and you couldn't pull the trigger to make the imprint. And the Germans were shooting the medics, and they interviewed some prisoners of war and asked them, why are they shooting the medics? They said because they were armed, because they were carrying this on their side.
Huh.
So a directive went out to destroy all Addressograph Model 70s immediately. So they're hard to come by, and once this machine was no longer in use, they didn't need the notch in the dog tag.
Wow.
That's the real story about the notch.
And now you know the rest of the story, as they say. So how did you come by the dog tag machine?
This machine came out of Indianapolis. It's about 80 years old. And it runs better than I do. And it just spins, and you punch a letter. You can see the drum actually stops. And it whacks it, and it gets ready for the next one.
Wow. Now I saw you have some kind of error correction in case you have a hang up with that little lever you pulled there.
Right. Sometimes it'll hang up and it won't go, so that resets it. Because as that drum comes around,
yeah,
the lever comes up, and sometimes it'll hit the spinning one. So you have to reset it.
That's amazing. Now this is the only dog tag machine I've ever seen that runs.
And I modified this machine. I can actually do raised and sunken letters with this machine.
So the old style and the even older style.
Old style and the current style,
Yeah.
I can do on this old machine.
Wow, that's really neat. That's really neat.
I've made dog tags across the country, Alaska. Been doing it for about 10 years.
Wow.
I'm known as the dog tag master,
Yeah.
and I have fun doing it.
And what a wealth of information here in this old communications shelter. Let's step back here and look at the whole operation. So if you guys see this, if you guys see the MVPA convoy come into town, take a stop at the dog house and get yourself some dog tags made up. He has forms. He'll put whatever you want on a dog tag at a very reasonable price. So Brad's a heck of a guy, and this is amazing. So good stuff. Open Antiques. Well, this antique store in Fallon is amazing. It's she told me this house was built in 1934. Look how beautiful. Look at that wooden shingle roof. Those are wood shingles up there. And this is a house that the insurance company across the way here owns and rents to the fellow that runs this antique shop. And it's a house, and each room in the house is like a typical shop booth, antique booth. So you rent a room and you can put your antiques in there. Isn't that clever? I love it. So they got me for about 20 bucks. Well, this 100, I think it's a 100-pound bomb tail fin. 100 pound. It was marked as a cluster bomb fin, but I couldn't find it. But the closest I could find was the Mark 30 100-pounder tail fin for a Mark 30 or M30, M30, 100-pounder. I'll make that a little end table or something. I'll do something with that. And a vintage postcard from Ione, which we didn't go through Ione, but we went past the road to Ione, so that will always remind me of that day where I found the quart and the pint cans in the bottle and stuff when we pulled off the side of the road. Well, there's a shop over here across the way. I'm gonna go check out too, see if Fallon can take some more of my money. Here we go. You know, another thing while I'm thinking about it, these antique shops are outside. I've never been, like back east, there are no antique shops outside because it's so rainy and wet and all the snow and salt and stuff. So this is a culture shock to me, having an outdoor antique shop. Love it. Well, I gotta tell you folks, I'm glad I came over here to look around. I'm telling you, there are mining carts everywhere out here. Just mining carts everywhere. Well, anyways, I sure am glad I stopped over here because look what I found. A 1943 Bennett disguised as a civilian can. Guess how much I'm paying for it? $10. Here we go. Yeah, you gotta, it's worth checking them. It was in a big pile of red cans. I'm like, oh, they're all civilian cans. I'm not interested in that. And I decided to look at the bottoms anyway. So check the bottoms, you jerry can, what can we call jerry can people? I'm gonna think about that and we'll come back to that. So I came inside and found this big old Hey Buddin, Brooklyn, New York. Boy, am I tempted to take that home. Listen to this. Has a very pleasing ring to it. Now I know the ring doesn't really mean anything because I have a cast iron anvil at home with a hard top, and most of the hard top's gone, and it just thuds. It doesn't really have a ring. And they're just made to pound on, but I would love to take this back east with me. It weighs about 100 pounds, so I'm gonna have to let this one go. So we're in the Churchill County Museum in Fallon, and they have an entire exhibit on the Lincoln Highway. When the rubber meets the dirt. Yeah, that's so cool. Wow. Look at this. Wow, wow, wow. I need one of them right there. Holy cow, that's metal, enameled steel. Look at this. Wow. March 3rd, 1914, a Lincoln Highway Association. It's a certificate for this gentleman contributed $5 to the Lincoln Highway Association. That's amazing. Wow, okay. I'll pause it on there so you guys can read this. Wow. Wow, that's amazing. This should be West Chicago. That should be do not pass go, do not collect $200. I haven't had any Rocky Mountain oysters. We did stop there, if you guys remember. And here we are. That's the one I have a reprint of. Wow, that's a real original. Can you believe that? Wow, I need that patch. Wow. As you can see, that's the sun reflecting off the windshield. typo. You know, we have some heavies that would do that today in 2019. I mean, if we cross bridges like that. Okay, so I'm over here in the annex. I just want to look at one more thing. Look at this beaut. Wow! Check it out inside. The thing's beautiful. Look, it even has rain guards in the body. You think your little rain guards on your car are new technology? No. No, there's nothing new under the sun, is there? This is bus number 2. What, they probably had 3. Wow, what a good looking, that's a good looking vehicle right there, isn't it? Just wow. You want to come home with me, little buddy? What do you think? I bet you guys would make good co-pilots. I need a good navigator. Hey, where do you think you're going? I'm talking to you. Good evening, folks. So I just got back from uploading days 29 and 30, and before I left today, I had the honor of talking to Pat Huntsman about our route and the Pony Express and you know, this part of the Lincoln Highway. And he said he was going to, well, he gave me the idea of a couple of books to read about this area of the country. And I'm very interested in that. And we got to talking a little more, and he said he was going to, you know, he recommended his book. He said he was going to come by and bring me a copy. And I said, well, sure, if you sign it. And I'll be darned if while I was out, he didn't bring me a copy of his book that he wrote and published. I was reading in here. Yeah, he wrote and published this book, and it's a pretty serious book. And what I saw on the back of this book was Simpson Wagon Route, 1859. Wheeler Peak, we passed that. We went through the Steptoe Valley, Eureka, Austin. Like I just posted that. I just posted that video like literally 15 minutes ago. And went through Eastgate. That'll be on 31. Westgate, and you know, the Sand Mountain, etc. Pat, it's an honor to have your book, and I can't wait to have the time to read it. And just what an amazing gift. What an amazing gift. Thank you so much. And it is autographed. So this is going to be one of the prized possessions of this entire journey. So I'm honored. Thank you. Thanks, Pat. So looks like we're having a little cookout over here at Camp Kiwi. So I'm going to make my way over there. Usually we eat at 6, but it's 6:10 now, and I feel like I may have missed the party, but we'll see. No, we'll go mingle. All right, folks, have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's 9/11, by the way, so we're going to have a memorial ceremony downtown Fallon, and that'll be on the next video. All right? Have a good night, folks.